thank you for watching. True science and true religion do not conflict and are not at war. That is a true principle, and a wonderful and true principle. I've heard people, however, quote that and then demand I believe things that are not science, or not true religion, or not true science. So why is that a true principle, true quote? Well, it's a true quote if somebody actually said it. It's a true principle if it's true. True religion, I'm defining as just trying to learn the truth from God. By revelations, by finding the revelations, getting revelations yourself, or reading previous revelations that have been given. For purposes of this video, this subject, I'm not boldly declaring my religion the only true religion, because there are truths that are in many religions, and so there are true principles we can find in many religions. So true religion is that true science is actually trying to find the truth by the scientific method. The scientific method is observing. They make a hypothesis about how things happen, or what will happen, or why things happen. Come up with a hypothesis that is testable. Then you test it, and if your hypothesis is confirmed, you've got a theory, and you tell more people, and it's an even more strongly proven theory, or a theory we can be more certain about when more people do the test and it is confirmed. And that's the process of learning. You're just learning as much as we can, and that way is true science. They are both seeking for truth. So they both count for it. But some people bring up this principle and then expect me to believe something that's not true. Saying this true principle does not prove whatever you say next is true. A good way, examples of actually applying this true principle would be, well, doing what your doctor says. Doctors now are giving you recommendations, except for the few bad doctors telling you that you can change from something, one sex to the other. But unless your doctor's telling you to cut off perfectly healthy body parts, then you should do what your doctor says. Maybe vaccinate against a disease which is completely avoidable by not having sex with people who have it. But other than things like that, figuring out what's wrong with your body, treatments for your body, that is true science. You really do have that condition the doctor said. You really should take that medicine the doctor said. That is, you know, applying that principle. Why things were made, what happened in the distant past, science has limited ability to figure that out. God has not given us every second of every day of the past of what happened in Revelations, but He has given us some revelations that give some details about that. And when it comes to, let's see, examples of true science and true religion coming together. You can't change yourself from a boy to a girl, or a girl to a boy. You are just the one thing. True religion confirms that. We are men and women. There's no other thing. And true religion also teaches that we were that before we were born. Our spirit, which pre-existed our earthly physical existence, was a boy spirit or a girl spirit. Alright. But are there things that are called science by some people that are not science? Oh, definitely. We need to be honest with ourselves. when we look at this quote and be honest about the fact that scientists are human beings who can have prejudices and opinions, and have those prejudices and opinions affect what they say. So if you hear a scientist say something, ask yourself, are they telling you what they saw? Are they telling you something that has been tested? Are they telling you something that can be tested? If are telling you about something that somebody else saw, if you can't answer yes to one of those questions, it doesn't deserve to be called scientific, no matter how many degrees or television shows. There we go. No matter how many degrees or television shows the person has to their credit that's claiming something. One example of not true science is materialism. That is the belief that there is no supernatural. Everything that exists is material we can touch, and there's no supernatural, and there's no spiritual or supernatural explanation about anything. See, true science is trying to find the truth. True religion is trying to find the truth with no limits on what they will accept if it's true, if the evidence points towards it, or if God says it. But there are scientists who have a prejudice. They are not trying to find the truth. They will not accept any evidence or truth that points to a creator, that points to a young earth, that points to a worldwide flood approximately 4,000 years ago. 4,000 and a little more. So it's not true science if it's that. Science's limited ability to figure out the extreme past. And sometimes scientists have prejudices that blind them. So what are some examples of false science that some people are clinging on to? There's a religion that's not science, evolutionism, which is the belief that there is no creator, that our whole universe started with a big bang and no banger, and that everything just happens through long, slow happening processes, naturally occurring, no supernatural help to make things happen. But we've never seen that. We can't really call it science. Maybe we could make two categories of science like Ken Ham does. Historical science and observational science, but there's limits to how we can test about what happened in the past. There's definitely a difference between understanding actual current physics and current biology and current chemistry and a long, long time ago. How did the elements get formed? An important part of this evolution religion is spontaneous coming to life of life from non-living materials. Never been witnessed. So it's not scientific. Never been recreated in a laboratory. And all life having one common ancestor. So there are devoted Christians, including members of my church, who cling on to that religion and say, well, true science and true religion don't conflict, so you have to believe this. No, that's not true science. That genetic mutations create whole body parts that weren't there before. Whole systems, fully functioning systems. What we see is genetic mutations make animals lose things, but you're not going to get from single cell animal with no body parts, well, only cellular parts, to multiple body parts working together by losing things. You need proof that natural selection, that mutations, I mean, you need proof that mutations can create something. Proof would be, show me in a laboratory where you're certain about who the parents were of this creature, or if it's even better, if it's one that reproduces asexually, and a genetic mutation happened where a whole fully functioning system or body part was there. Never happened. White supremacy, which is a natural part of evolutionism and Darwinism. Darwin was a white supremacist. That's a fact. That's a historical fact. We can read it in his books where he denounced anyone that was not a white European as inferior and less evolved. And, let's see, but white supremacists are not doing mental leaps away from Darwinism, mental gymnastics. It's right there in it. And that's false science. That's not true science. But there are people who like that stuff. Doctors have been wrong about things in the past. They used to think you need to bleed people to cure them because there was bad blood in it. That's why they were sick. We now know that's not the case. But there is a religious book that says life is in the blood. That seems to me to discourage bleeding people to death to cure them. Or bleeding people not to death, not trying to kill them, but bleeding them to cure them. Alright, so false religion does not contradict, false religion can contradict true science. See, true religion and true religion don't contradict. True religion and true science don't contradict. False religion can contradict false science. False science can contradict true religion. Another example of false science would be the extreme dating that they give things. The rocks do not have a date stamped on them. There is inference in the process of dating things. True religion lets us know there was a worldwide flood as punishment from God that killed everything except sea life, 8 humans, and whatever was on the ark with the humans. True science is not going to contradict that. That is the best. The worldwide flood is the best explanation that there is for the sedimentary rocks and the fossils that are all over the world. Alright, yeah, so that's an example of false science contradicting true. Another example of false science is that there is no such thing as men and women. But true religion teaches us that there are men and women, and that we were men and women before we were born. Our spirits were. So there's an example of false science contradicting true religion. So, false religion contradicting true science. The universe is infinitely old. So things could be, the stars out there could be billions of years old. True religion does not say that the entire universe, the Bible does not claim to be about the creation of the entire whole universe. It's just about this. So false religion grabs Genesis 1:1 and says, it says the word beginning there. That's the Big Bang with God. But that means there was at one point nothing. And all of the stars and planets and the whole universe were created at the start of the 6-day creation process. No, the 6-day creation process is about this earth. False religion claims that the earth is flat. Nowhere in the Bible does it teach the earth is flat. So there's false religion contradicting true science, because true science has proven that the Earth is round. Not 100% round, it's slightly oblong and it's got bumps in it, but it's approximately round, and it's not flat. Let's see. Oh, false religion. Racism. There have been false religions that encouraged or taught racism. There's no real scientific basis for that. Humans are so similar that all of the humans of all of the different races can interbreed, proving the differences are subtle and mild and unimportant. So false religion makes a big deal out of those things that really don't matter. False religion claims there's no life anywhere else in this universe. Scientists have not definitively proven yet, but false religion says we shouldn't even look because we know there's nothing out there. No, there's not proof against that. The Bible never tells us that there is no life in other planets out there. Never. There's not one verse claiming that. Because the Bible is letting us know what's happening with us and our Earth, and not every star in the whole galaxy. There's some good scientific evidence, good true science, that limits the age of the Earth and this solar system, so that it can't be billions of years old, and it could be younger than that. We're looking at, it's got to be millions, if not younger than that. So a religion that would say there's billions of years of this planet existing and going around the sun, when we've got documented evidence, scientific evidence of the sun shrinking, which would mean it was bigger in the past. That's an example of false religion contradicting true science. A true science, there's evidence limits to how old this planet, this Earth is. False religion, an example of false religion bumping up against true science. True science is that the difference between fresh water and salt water is how much salt is there. I mean, we're talking about parts per million. It's a small amount, but there's not just salt, fresh. That's it. Fresh water does have a little bit of salt in it, and there's varying degrees of salt in the water. Where rivers run into the ocean, you get brackish water. Brackish means it's saltier than fresh water, it's less salty than salt water. And at the Dead Sea and the Great Salt Lake, where the water never runs all the way to the ocean, but ends in a lake or a pond, very deep, lower than the Salt Lake City Salt Lake might not be lower than the ocean like the Dead Sea is, but the water doesn't leave the Great Salt Lake in Utah, and that's why it's so salty. That's even saltier than the ocean, those two bodies of water. So if there's a religion that says there's only salt water and fresh water, that's an example of a false religion or false religious teaching that contradicts true science. So, thank you for watching my thoughts on this. True science does not contradict true religion. There's no war between true science and true religion. But that does not mean the thing that somebody says next you have to believe and turn your brain cells off and not think about it critically. You have a good day.